Sam Avery's at Stadium MK. Weird result, wasn't it? I mean, it kind of came out of nowhere, really. They'd lost the previous one at home against Gillingham, but then, you know, they were kind of expecting to bounce back, expecting to at least be competitive, but they got absolutely drubbed.
Yeah, really bizarre. I mean, the fact that they scored 3 away from home and still lost and, you know, conceded 6. Yeah, really bizarre result. And obviously, you know, coming back at home, first of 2 home games to finish off the calendar year, they'll be hoping, obviously, for you know, for a better result this afternoon, because they've suffered 2 defeats in a row, and very different defeats as well, because they were decent against Gillingham in the first half and lost 1-0 against the run of play, whereas against Newport they kind of went the other way, went all guns blazing and simply were outscored by Newport. So I'm interested to know the kind of confidence levels of the players going into this game. Where do they stand? Because if they have another game where they dominate the ball, which you'd expect them to do, although Notts County are also a possession dominant side, you know, they'll be mindful of the fact that, you know, Gillingham came here, shut up shop and managed to win 1-0, and also mindful of the fact that if they go all guns blazing again, I mean, I doubt they'll concede 6 again, but they could concede a few goals. So, yeah, I'm interested to know what the confidence of the players is going to be like this afternoon, because it's back-to-back defeats, but in very different circumstances.
We talked about, Steve mentioned, I think it was either Steve or yourself, talking about Birmingham in League One, just forgetting about them. It seems like Walsall are the side in League Two that everyone's forgetting about, because they are absolutely flying. But, you know, if they've lost the last 2, as you said, MK Dons, but if you know, they cannot let that continue. That they will fall away. There are so many sides. I mean, Salford are on the same points as them in 11th, then Gillingham 30 points, then MK Dons 30 points, then Grimsby 31, Notts County 31, AFC 33. There's a lot of sides. You cannot go more than you lose a couple of games, fine, that happens, but you've got to bounce back if you want to stay in the hunt.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking now, there's 7 points separating 2nd and 11th, and MK Dons are in the middle of there somewhere.
Yeah, that's crazy,
just outside the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got 2 games in hand on 2nd. Let's say they win those 2 games in hand. Doesn't always work like that, of course, but if they win those 2 games in hand, they're into the top 3. So although they're 9th, you know, they're still handily placed, MK Dons. You just think, you know, had they've, you know, picked up a few more points from those previous games, they'd be nicely nestled into the playoff places. But that's League 2 football. You know, there are always so many sides that are just outside and inside the playoff places, because it's the top 3 that get automatic promotion, and then it's the next 4. There's always a huge cluster of sides that are right in it until the final day. I mean, there was that season a few years ago, wasn't there, where Bristol Rovers, I think, were something like 11th or something, and then ended up winning their last 6 games, ended up winning automatic promotion, winning 7-0 on the final day. That's just classic League 2. There's always so many teams in it, and you've just got to stay in it until the very end and see where you end up. Yeah, it's a 3rd straight defeat for the Dons. MK Dons 0, Notts County 2. Goalless first half without too many chances. Notts County turned on the style after the break. The opening goal on the 57th minute finished off by George Abbott after a really nice move outside the area. Dan Crowley, who was impressive throughout the afternoon involved, set up the goal for Abbott and then scored the second 20 minutes from time, collecting 20 yards out and firing into the bottom corner. The Dons had chances, Alex Gilby and Joe Tomlinson both forcing smart saves from the Notts County goalkeeper Alex Bass, but in truth they were second best this afternoon. 3rd straight defeat for the Dons. MK Dons 0, Notts County 2.